If you have been thinking about joining the military, watch this video. I do not recommend you to join any branch. I joined the Army. I had a cousin who offed himself, so they claim, but he was in the Navy. The Air Force is like more on a softer side physically, but that's about it. The rest is still the same. The Marines is worse than any other branch. So that'll give you your options to choose from. The Air Force mostly focus on like being calm because they have to be upward energy. So they're not too busy focused on being in the battlefield. So their energy isn't so like thrashful. But it doesn't mean that they don't steal, they don't lie, and they don't commit crimes. The Marines, they are the ones who go infantry front line. So they're the ones who are supposed to go to war and fight. So they get hardcore treatment, and those people are like ruthless. One of my racist drill sergeants, when I was in basic training, he acted like he had never seen an afro before. And this black girl, she walked out with a really big afro, and he was like picking on her about it. But he ended up telling us that he had to kill a child, and he was heartless about it. So that should tell you how the Marines are. When I was in basic training, there also was a guy who they claim offed himself in the bathroom. So the girls was on the bottom floor, the boys was on the top floor, but we still were in different platoons. So I was in 4th platoon, and the platoon that I was in was the bay that the boy offed himself in. So it was my platoon's bay. So when you wake up in the morning, you go to your platoon's bay. So when we go up there, that's when the boys tell us that we came up there late because somebody had offed themselves in the bathroom. Now let me tell you why this is suspicious. One, yes, they do give you real rifles. This is also why I say the government is crazy. How do you make the regular people in the world? You have to go get a gun license and a permit to carry. But yet, when you join the military, you're putting a gun in somebody's hand within 2 weeks. It's a long ass rifle. And they give you real bullets when you go to the range. So when they first introduce you to the rifles, they're introducing you to the rifles inside. And it's mandatory you carry these rifles with you every single day from the moment you get out of PT. So when you first wake up, you got to go exercise. Right after that, you have to have your weapon with you until the time you go to sleep. When you go to sleep, you have to put your weapon in the front of the bay. So it's racks in the front of the bay, like the bay where you go to sleep at. That's also suspicious. Why do you keep the weapons where we go to sleep at? But it's supposed to be like a training drill for real. So like if you are in real war, you would keep your weapons nearby. And there's 2 people that stay awake that do night guard shift. Every single night, 2 random people in the bay. So you take turns doing night guard shift. One person is supposed to clean the bay. The other person is supposed to guard the weapons and watch the door. There also are sergeants who come around every hour on the dot to make sure that the 2 people for night shift are up. Also, this is how a lot of rapes got done. This is how a lot of killings got done. A lot of harassments got done because it's nighttime. It's only one sergeant coming in and it's 2 people awake with a whole bay full of people that sleep. It's loud as shit in there. Like the fan is loud. Like even though everybody sleep, it still is a loud, compact noise at the same time. So it's like easy, and then like you're tired, you're worn out. It's so easy to be like deep sleep too. But what the sergeant does is they walk around, they even check the bathroom. So imagine like only one of y'all going because you have to follow them. One person has to still stay at the door and the other person has to follow the sergeant around the bay. So if the sergeant feels like something is not clean, they're going to tell you. And it still lights off. It's still dark as shit in there. It's only one light on, and that's the lamp that's at the front of the bay and the bathroom light that's at the back of the bay. So any time in between here, something can happen. Anyways, that boy, I don't know what happened to him because we were like freshly in basic training. Like we was like 2 weeks in, and we also had to quarantine 3 times for 2 weeks. So my basic training ended up being longer than usual basic training. I went in when COVID first hit, so we had the first wave, like we was their new guinea pigs basically, the first wave of people. So it took us a minute before we fully was like going to other bays. So we was barely going to 4th bay. So like I barely saw the guy. And you're like, you're new, you're getting to know people from all places across the world. So now when I tell you about the boy offing himself, now when we go to the range to practice to shoot, and you go to the range like once or twice a week, but when you go, they give you the magazine and bullets right before you shoot, and then they take it right after. And then before you leave the range, they pat you down to make sure you don't have any ammo on you. So basically to make sure that you can't shoot when you're not on the range. So basically nobody's supposed to have bullets. So how did he have a bullet with him in the bathroom to be able to off himself. A bullet is small, so you may think like, oh, it's easy to hide a bullet. But when I tell you they shake you down, they shake you down. They make you take off your shoe, you take off your socks, you take off your top part of your uniform. Like they scan you through your bra. Like they do a very thorough search to make sure you do not have no ammo on you. They check your hair. Like you gotta really it's easy to get it in, but it ain't. Because it's so small, you're going to have to really think on how to slide that bullet past somebody, because these are people who train to make sure that you're not taking this stuff back to the bay to prevent stuff like this. All I know is that I didn't hear no gunshot. The boys upstairs said they didn't hear no gunshot either. But when they woke up the next morning, the boy was in the bathroom and he was gone. Not to mention, I told y'all that the sergeants check every hour on the hour. So how did he go by all those hours from 9 p.m., because that's when they do lights out at 9 p.m., and they cut the lights on at 4 a.m. So how did he go by all those hours and nobody saw him in the bathroom until the last hour when they turned the lights on? Also, there were 2 girls who I told y'all they got raped in reception. They sent those girls to psych wards, labeled them as crazy, kept them in there for so long, y'all, before they finally sent the girls home. What they was trying to do was keep them there and trying to basically force them to get well enough so they could finish going through our training. But them girls wanted to go home and tell their parents what happened to them. They literally got shipped off. When you first get shipped off, reception is the first place that you go before you get to basic training. So imagine going to get shipped off and within a few days, you were literally having your virginity taken from you. Like those girls was left in pools of blood. It was 2 of them, 2 girls, and they got raped by 2 big ass drill sergeants. And they covered it up. Sent those girls to those psych wards and kept them girls there for years. Them girls didn't get out for a long time. Them girls did not give in. They still wanted to go home. And they eventually went home and told their parents what happened. I don't know what their parents did from there though.